Sagittarius, I want to welcome all the new people here today. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au, and this is the month of June 2018. Your forecast, albeit a brief one, just so we can touch on what's happening celestially and how this may be playing out in your life. Of course, it's a very general reading, and for those of you that know your rising sign or lunar sign, you can apply the sun sign analysis that I'm giving to you here equally to those. The big news that I've been talking about today to all of the star signs, and I want to focus quite a bit on that and how it's playing out, is this transit of Uranus into the sign of Taurus here. And for you, this sign of the zodiac is all about your working environment, your daily routine. That's also covered a little bit by the third house, and also, more importantly, your health and well-being. It has to do with your debts, and it has to also do with your enemies. So what does this mean for you? Uranus is a slow-moving planet still, 84 years. There are some of you watching who were around 84 years ago, and there are some of you who will be around in 84 years from now. On average, a lot of us may not even be here. So you understand the significance of this when I say that for the next 7 years at least, in this particular sign of the zodiac, it is really going to do some shaking and moving of what goes on in this department of your life. So your workplace activities, some of you already may be starting to feel that there's something going on there. There is some movement there. There are some changes afoot. The routine and the way in which you work needs to be looked at. I think the very important transit here has to do with health matters. The reason I say that is because often you need to look at more than one component to sort of go, yeah, this is happening. I say that because your ruling planet Jupiter is in the 12th house, transiting in retrogression in the 12th house of secrets and also confinement or hospitals. Now, this may not be your own hospitalisation, but generally if we look at the ruling planet there, it shows us that a reappraisal has been going on. This is not always, by the way, sickness of the body. This can be sickness of the soul, a deep longing. This is a spiritual house, and your sign is in itself a spiritual sign of the zodiac. So here we see, and look at this, we see that there was recently an opposition in the last year to Uranus. And so now we see that the two signs here, the 6th and the 12th house, both relating to health, will be at play. When the moon swings around into this position, as we can see here, it begins in the finance sector of your horoscope around the 1st and 2nd, then moves to the very combative Mars on the 3rd and 4th, moves out of there into the 4th house on the 6th. I'm just going to give you a few little quick previews here. Confusing sort of conjunction with Neptune there around the 6th and 7th in your domestic sphere. Love affairs, creativity and children are dominated by this position, the 8th and 9th. And then we see what I consider a trigger mechanism here with the moon coming into conjunction with Uranus at that time. It's around the 10th. That precedes the new moon, which I think is pertinent for you as well. And a slight departure from the theme that I've been working on here, and that is a couple of things. On the 12th, the movement of Mercury, the marital planet, into the 8th house, and the moon on the 14th going to its new moon phase, very near to this Mercury. So this is all to do with relationships here. And seeing the new moon focused here indicates a whole new approach, similar in nature to this, maybe not as explosive or dynamic. By the way, you do have the controlling mechanism of Saturn here. So although I'm talking about this in really sensational terms, it may actually be a slow burn building up to a rather explosive dynamic shift in attitude, in locale, in terms of the people you work with, because this also has to do with co-workers. You also notice that this relationship house, though I refer to this as your predominantly close one-on-one relationship, this can relate to relationships with people generally, so it could be with your co-workers as well. So a new approach, a new leaf being turned over in that area. Deep psychological analysis when the Moon and Mercury are together in the 14th and 15th in this 8th house of shared resources, psychology. 9th house, you see Venus there, nicely placed. It's a good time for a holiday for some of you as well. Venus is the 6th ruler, ruling your work, and that position of Uranus there. So there can be some changes for some of you in terms of moving or transferring to another division, another locality actually. This can be work and travel connected to work. Higher educational pursuits are shown by the 9th house, which can be courses or study programs to improve your skill sets. We see ourselves here in the social area around the 20th, 21st. And then again, the distant 12th house, removing yourself from the mainstream, having some time out there is also indicated, and some lovely spiritual insights or charitable activities are likely when the Moon transits the 12th house. The full Moon, which comes up on the 27th, occurs in the finance sector, right next to Sirius Saturn. There can be a rather overly heavy or somber tone to what goes on at this time, so you need to bring that under check and learn to have a good time, smile a little bit. Contracts, communications can be a little bit animated, if not aggressive, under the conjunction with Mars and Ketu on the last day of the month. So try to curb your impulse, your impatience and your harsh words at that time. Please join me at astrology.com.au. There's a whole write-up I've done on Uranus, the disruptor, transiting in Taurus for all 12 star signs, along with your daily, monthly and yearly forecasts. Look forward to your company again next month. Bye-bye.